Yo, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you an updated tutorial on how to do your very own fake tweet thumbnail. It's been a while, trying to get these back-to-back uploads. This is the updated version, so I'm probably just going to remove the past ones because, yeah, we're going to start off here in our game in Warzone because this is what we're aiming for. We're going to go into weapons. We're going to go into our edit loadout, and we're going to choose the weapon that we want to do, like put on our fake tweet, right? So for this is the commission for a client. I'm gonna use this Cold War AK because that's what he requested. I'm gonna make sure all my attachments are great, the indicate ones. After that, I'm gonna go into preview weapon, and I'm probably gonna drag a little to the right just so it has this angle. And this is what I like right here. I'm probably gonna choose this red one instead of this, or like the full purple one, because it honestly looks really good. So let me do that real quick. Take a screenshot. I will put that up on screen real quick. Let me go into my Google. It's called Lightshot or app.printscreen. This right here, Lightshot. This is what I use to take screenshots for any of my weapons or like anything in general. You can take a screenshot of just say a certain area. You get to choose what you want to screenshot, right? So this is what I use. This is what I suggest you use because it's so easy. If you have like a full-size keyboard, a TKO, you just hit print screen on your keyboard, and that is the way you get what's it called, this to pop up to take your screenshot. This is something I highly recommend for you to do. So I just go with this, and this is the way I take my screenshots. So now that I got my weapon here, we're gonna exit out this game, and I'm gonna open Photoshop. We're gonna make a new file, of course. Wait for this to open. Okay, right here. We're gonna make a new file, which is gonna be Control N on your keyboard, or right here, create new. Going with the same thing as last time. We're gonna do the fake tweet template. 1920 by 1080 at 300 resolution. My background's gonna be black because that is what we want. So I'm just gonna hit create. I'm gonna hit this unlock and then just title it background. So after titling it background, after this, I'm gonna import my weapon from my from my downloads, which is usually where the screenshot does go to. So we can see right here, this is my weapon. This is my Cold War AK. I'm going to be cutting this out. Something I do highly suggest in this case scenario is that you do something called auto color, I believe it's called. I hit Control Shift and B, and what that does, it's going to fix up the color on the weapon. Because you can see these Cold War weapons have like a reddish tint to it, which I don't really like. It looks really weird on thumbnails. So you can do Control Shift B or go up to here to the image tab and go down to auto color, which is this one right here. After you hit that, it's gonna adjust the color. I'll do it again just so you can see. Auto color, and then Control Shift B. So what that's gonna do is gonna take that red hue out of your weapon, and it's gonna leave it looking amazing, right? So this is one thing I highly suggest for you to do if you want your thumbnails to look very, very good. And now we're gonna move on to the pen tool, right? So I'm gonna press P on my keyboard, or as I said before, this pen tool. It's above the text tool on Photoshop right here. I'm gonna click on my starting point where I want to start my thumbnail, like my cutout basically. So after that, I'm gonna click right here. I'm gonna click down here to the next point, and as you can see right here, I don't know if it's noticeable like on on like the recording or such, but there's like a small curvature right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place like an anchor point right here. I'm gonna drag right, and what that's gonna do, it's gonna curve my line right here, and it's gonna bring up these two dots. So this dot on the left controls the curvature, right, or that you already made, and then this dot on the right is going to control the future curvature that you're going to do. So let's say it's right here, and I do this right here, it's going to curve so much that we don't want that, right? So we make this smaller, and then we play around with it, like curve it again, and we do that. To move around these small little dots, you hold Alt on your keyboard, left click, and you hold left click and then drag. So that's what you're gonna do there. And if you do happen to like mess up your your anchor point, something like that, and you don't like where it's at, you hold Control, left click, and drag, and what that's gonna do is you're gonna be able to drag the anchor point, and then you're gonna be moving around. That is like a simple rundown and explanation of how to use the pencil. Probably gonna be doing that for every other tutorial like usual. Let me pause right here, speed this, whole process up, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so now that I cut out my weapon, or have my weapon selected, I will make sure to have my pencil set to exclude overlapping shapes. This is something I did forget to mention again. It's typical of me, but it is what it is. Exclude overlapping shapes. What that's gonna do is when we do select it and cut our weapon out, it's not gonna include like these little inside the weapon, a background inside the weapon is what I'm trying to say. So we have our weapon selected with our pencil, right? I'm gonna hit Control and Enter. What that's gonna do is gonna select the weapon. I'm gonna go to Select, Modify, Contract, and default is gonna be 1. You can play around with this, but in this case scenario, I'm only gonna use 1. So I'm gonna do that. And now I'm gonna hit Control and J. What that's gonna do is gonna duplicate my layer. As you can see right here, it duplicated it. Or if you don't do Control J, you can grab your marquee tool, which is right here, rectangular marquee tool, and then hit right click and then lay up your cut. And as you can see right there, it cuts out the weapon from the background pretty much. But here it is. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make it into a smart object. So what this does is I'm gonna be able to add filters to my weapon to make it look better, to add sharpness and stuff like that. So we're gonna start off by adding smart sharpen. We go down to filter, sharpen, and then smart sharpen, right? I'm gonna do 150 at a 1.5 radius and 10% reduced noise. I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna go back to sharpen, and then I'm gonna do unsharp mask this time, so it sharpens it up a bit more. Amount is gonna be a 50 at a 1.5 radius. I'm gonna hit OK. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to filter, and then camera raw filter, or Control Shift A as a shortcut on your keyboard. What that is gonna do is gonna bring up camera raw filter, best tool for Photoshop in my opinion. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna raise the clarity by like 16 and texture by like 12. I'm gonna go down to detail, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to noise reduction. I'm gonna add 40 noise reduction and 80 detail. Just right, this is noise, but it keeps majority of detail in the weapon. So after doing that, I'm gonna hit OK, and that's pretty much what I want right there. Now I'm gonna drag this over to my fake tweet template right here. I'm gonna close this screenshot, and now what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna drag two things over from my other thumbnail template, right? I'm gonna drag my color corrections, and I'm gonna drag hold on, my spikes, because that's what I usually do. Okay, so I'm gonna get color corrections. Oh, I didn't even add spikes to this. Okay, no, I guess we're going with no spikes then. So I just want my color correction basically, just so add more pizzazz to the weapon and stuff. So now I'm gonna angle the weapon towards the middle of the screen. So Control T on your keyboard, and I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. Put it towards like the center, kind of a bit lower from the center. I'm gonna put it from right here. I think that's a perfect angle for me. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my own Twitter, right? I'm gonna open Twitter. I'm gonna go into more. I want my stuff to look good, right? So dim. I want normal stuff, right? So my client, the person that commissioned this, wanted us a tweet from Call of Duty, right? So we're gonna do a fake tweet from Call of Duty. We want something that probably has some text, nothing too crazy, as long as it doesn't have like some sort of like attachment or media to it, something like this, right? So that is probably gonna be my my go-to thing right there. That is probably gonna be what I'm gonna use right there, because it does, oh, this one right here, rip swag, but we're gonna edit this, of course. So I'm gonna do the same thing as I did with my weapon. I'm gonna hit print screen, and I'm gonna drag this on over the tweet. I'm gonna hit Control S because I want to save that. I'm gonna close out my Twitter now, and I'm gonna open that screenshot that I just took, right? So I'm probably gonna cut out this reply F to pay respects, and I'm probably gonna take this October 18th out. We just want Call of Duty tweeting this out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit M on my keyboard, or the second tool, which is the rectangular marquee tool. I'm gonna select this date, and I'm gonna hit Shift F5, and what that's gonna do is gonna fill content aware everything. So that is probably what I'm gonna do. And as for this, I'm probably gonna delete like a good chunk of this tweet. So I'm gonna do select this, delete. Okay, we got that. We're gonna select the bottom part that's still there. I'm gonna hit layer via cut because we're making a layer. Probably kind of overlap this over the tweet, and that is pretty much what I do right there. As for this, I'm gonna merge these two together. So to do that, I'm gonna click on my bottom layer, hold Shift, and then click on the top layer, Control and E, and what that's gonna do is gonna merge it. As for this text, I'm gonna fill content aware as well because we wanna be able to add text to this, right? So that is done right there. That is like a perfect fake tweet. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add text. So I'm gonna be choosing, I think it's called Microsoft something. I don't know what this is called. I'm not trying to say it, but it's Microsoft PHAGSPA. I should probably throw that into Google Translate just to see how it translate that. So my hold on, let me see what my client said. I can't be disclosing this, this is that confidential activity. We're gonna go here. We're gonna see what my man Rob said. He said he wants a fake tweet with Call of Duty saying the AK-47 is now the best gun, which I'd assume he's talking about the Cold War AK because the MW AK is really atrocious. So I'm gonna copy the text that he sent me. So I'm just gonna put it right here, right? And I'm gonna edit this. Cold War AK-47 is now the best gun in Warzone, comma, try it. That is probably what I'm gonna do right there. Probably make it a bit smaller just so it doesn't look wonky or forged or some shit like that. I'm probably gonna add a hashtag to this and then make this Warzone text blue. Do I have anything added to this? No. So I'm gonna go to here and I'm gonna go like right here, make that blue, and there we go. That is what I'm gonna do right there. I'm gonna center it. Should I do something else? Because it might be like a little too small or like missing something. So the Cold War AK-47 is now the best gun in Warzone. Try it. So I'm probably just gonna go with that, right? That is pretty much what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a glow to the text, so I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna hit the normal, make it a linear dodge add blend mode. This is gonna do brush. I can't type brush. There we go. I'm gonna make the opacity like 30%, and choose like a blue that's kind of like a light blue, very light blue. And I'm gonna click once on here, right? I'm gonna do Control T, and what that's gonna do is gonna pull the free transform. I'm gonna hold Shift and then drag right and drag left. What that's gonna do is just gonna expand the brush without making it taller. And I'm probably gonna make it slimmer, so I'm gonna do the same thing, holding Shift but dragging up and down, right? So I'm probably gonna do that, but delete. I don't know if it's gonna be baby blue. It's just gonna be a blue then. I'm not doing baby blue because it won't look like a shiny or in some way. So I'm gonna do this right here. And now I'm just gonna make this into a smart object. So this is tweet. I'm gonna hold Shift on the bottom layer and then hold Shift still and then click on the top layer. Control G. What that's gonna do is gonna group it up, or you can do Control Q and that's gonna make it into a smart. I said Control Q. No, don't do Control Q. That's my keybind. Right click and make it into a smart object. Right. So convert to smart object. I just changed my keybinds. I don't know why I said Control Q. But yeah. So now I'm gonna copy this over and I'm gonna put this in here, right? So I can probably make this template a bit shorter. So and let me do that real quick though. Let's say I cut a portion out of the tweet, right? Do the same thing I did earlier with the other stuff. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna make it into a smart object, right? That is a little too short for me, so I'm just gonna play around with it and find like a good distance for this. But that is pretty good for me right there. All right, now that we got that, I'm gonna center this and I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger, drag it to the bottom of my screen. If I need to, I'll make it even more bigger. It really doesn't matter. Now I'm gonna drag it down. I'm gonna put it to where it covers like the bottom half of the screen. I'm gonna put this under my AK-47. What I'm gonna do here is add perspective to it, just so it looks way better. It's more eye appealing. So what I'm gonna do is hit Control T, right click, and then hit perspective. So after hitting perspective, it's basically like a free transform, but this time you're gonna be able to like tilt it and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is hit this top right corner and then drag left. And what that's gonna do is gonna tilt it inwards, and then grab the bottom right corner and drag that right. And what that's gonna do is gonna tilt it outwards, right? So we got that. It's tilted now. It has like, you know, a bit more perspective to it. So after that, I'm gonna add a drop shadow to it. I'm gonna double click on this, add a drop shadow, make sure that it is black on a normal blend mode, like a 50% opacity, 0 spread, distance like anything in between 10, right? And then size, anything in between 15. I'm gonna do a 9 size and then 6 distance. So you don't really see it much, but it's there. After we add like glows and stuff, you'll probably be able to see it. So there's that. After that, I'm probably gonna try and adjust this AK-47, try like censor it to where it looks good. I think that is where it looks good. Is there anything my friend said over here? He wants an insane tag, which I don't want to make personally right now on the spot, so I'm probably just gonna drag that from one of my thumbnails and then just leave it in here for anybody to use. Of course, that's what I did with the OP tag in last video. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so now that I have my tag here, that I imported it, I'm gonna do a few things. I'm gonna raise this tweet right here. I'm gonna raise it a bit more. I'm gonna make my AK-47 a bit bigger and then tilt it a bit. After this, I'm gonna Control T on my tag. I'm gonna make it a bit bigger and then tilt it a bit. So when I hit Control T, I go above the layer and then I can go left and right. And what that's gonna do is gonna like tilt it to each direction that you want. So right here, I'm just gonna add it to the corner. I like that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold Alt on this FX icon, and I'm gonna drag down while holding left click. What that's gonna do is gonna copy the layer effects that I have, which in this case is the drop shadow. It's not noticeable, but you can still see it right here and a bit on the weapon. So we're gonna do that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my brushes, right? I'm gonna add my background brush. So this is gonna be my soft light brush. Okay, that's gonna be my soft light brush, like a little brush in the background that it's really soft. I'm gonna go like right here in between purple. I'm gonna add it, and then let me play around with the brush so it doesn't cover the whole canvas. I'm gonna put it like right there, right? Or just make it even smaller if it comes to it. I'm gonna lower the opacity to 70%, and I'm gonna hit Control T, and we're gonna do the same as we did with this brush right here, with this Warzone highlight brush. And we're just gonna expand it while holding shift left and right, just so there's glow to it a bit, so it covers the background. I'm gonna press enter, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another brush, but this is gonna be under the soft light brush, and this is gonna call it white brush. I'm gonna make this smaller, and then I'm just gonna click right here. That's gonna stay white. It's gonna be a white brush. It's gonna be 100% opacity. I'm just gonna make sure it's it just covers part of the weapon, nothing too crazy. I don't want it to cover the whole soft brush that I got in the background. So I'm gonna do this right here. I can even add the white brush above this just so it adds more glow. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a new brush. I'm gonna tell this color brush. So this color brush is gonna be like a pinkish color, and I'm gonna add that over this white brush, and I'm gonna make it into a soft light. And as you can see, it took a bit of form, like it added a bit more to glow. Like there's purple and then pink, pinkish color right there. So that is probably what I'm gonna go do right there. As for everything else, I'm probably gonna make this brush a bit bigger too, a bit taller in height, nothing too crazy. And then drag this right to the left, just so it covers more of the canvas on the thumbnail. Just so it's not that empty. I can probably lower opacity even more if I wanted to. I'm gonna lower opacity on this right here. I'm gonna lower opacity on this color brush to 70. Make sure it is on soft light, by the way. That is pretty much it for that. I can play around with this AK-47 drop shadow, make it a bit deeper and darker. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drag this effects onto the tag because that's what we want right there. So now I'm probably gonna wait, hold on. This soft light brush needs to go under the tweet so I can kind of see it right there. I don't know, it kind of triggers me, but it is what it is, right? Where's my tweet? Oh, it's this. I'm gonna tell this tweet because that is low-key throwing me off. So add a drop shadow to the tweet. Let me see, what else do I have on my others? I think I have adjustments. So what I do is add a contrast and brightness, increase brightness, increase contrast, just so you know you get this. It looks like little lines right here, and it looks so clean. I'm gonna add vibrance. I'm gonna raise it a bit just so it brightens up, and as you can see, it's already a whole like difference. Now I'm gonna do curves. I'm gonna play around with this like that right there, up, and then this going down, and then maybe not hue and saturation, but maybe color balance to a +5 on blue. And finally, exposure. I'm gonna lower the gamma correction to 0.97. Offset, I'm just gonna lower that to 0.14, 0014 minus 0014. Probably make this tag a bit bigger now that I'm looking at it. I can lower the gun a bit more probably if I wanted to, but let's just say I'm gonna leave it like this, right? Boom. That looks great. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on Google and then look for sparks with a black background, because we're gonna be playing around with this, right? So we're gonna look for a good stock of sparks. You know, we want it to look very good. We want a high quality, something that doesn't have, you know, what's it called, a watermark. So just go around on Google looking for something that you like, right? Let's see. Oh, this one right here. This is like perfectly fine for me, or something like this, right? I just need something big that has like a, you know, doesn't have this, you know, watermark, basically. I'm just gonna go around looking for this stuff, man, because, you know, this can be a bit tricky, but at the same time, it's really nice because your thumbnail can look insane. So these sparks look really great. I might do this one right here. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one right here then. I'm gonna hit right click. I'm gonna copy this image, and then I'm gonna paste this into my thumbnail, and I'm gonna make sure that it covers to where the whole canvas is. So let's say right here, right? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it into a smart object, and I'm gonna lower this to linear dodge add, just so it integrates into the background. I'm gonna put this behind my what's it called, adjustments, not under my brushes, because it looks weird. As you can see, it doesn't look the best. So I'm gonna do that. You can lower the opacity a bit, nothing too crazy. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this background, and then shift, and then hold up to the exposure, and group it all together, and we're gonna tile this background. I can't type, Jesus Christ. Background, right? So that's pretty much that for the background. I'm not gonna add anything more unless you want to add something else like money raining, or, you know, anything you know, that you might want to add, right, that you can get creative with. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add brightness and contrast, exposure, vibrance, and is it curves? Yeah, curves onto my weapon. So I'm gonna select all these and then make it into a clipping mask right here. I'm gonna raise the brightness and then raise the contrast, because we want it to be, you know, the black to be dark, and then the bright, you know, the whole weapon a bit brighter. Gamma correction, I'm gonna do like a -9.5. I'm gonna add a bit of exposure, and then for the offset, I'm gonna go like with a -0.0041. Vibrance, I'm gonna add a bit more vibrance to the weapon, because why not? As for the curves, we can do the same as we did with the background. You know, just play around with it. That is all up to you and what you decide to do. So that is pretty much it, what I'm gonna do for that part of the, you know, weapon. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a new layer, and this is gonna be my highlight brush. I'm gonna make this into a linear dodge add and lower the opacity to maybe like a 30%, 35. And now I'm gonna press my brush tool, and I'm gonna hold Alt and look for like a very light color, like right here. That's like perfect for me. And we're gonna be adding this around the edges of the weapon where the, you know, the background does kind of highlight. We can raise the opacity to like 40-50%, but that is all personal preference. I'm gonna leave mine at 40 because that's what I like. All right, sorry about that. I got a quick call that I had to answer, so yeah. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a new brush. This is gonna be my main brush, so I'm probably just gonna tell the main brush. Can't type, but you know, it is what it is. You feel me? Okay, main brush. I'm gonna turn this into linear dodge add 2. I'm gonna make it like a 50% opacity. And now for this, I'm gonna grab like a red brush, make it red, Just add this around where the red parts of the weapon is. I'll probably take a purple brush right here and add that around the weapon. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an overlay brush. So I'm gonna make a new layer, overlay brush. Okay, overlay brush. I'm gonna turn this to an overlay blend mode, and I'm gonna put the fill down to like 30%. And then this, I'm gonna make a white brush, and I'm gonna put this over the weapon. So now what I'm gonna do is probably gonna lower the brightness of it on the weapon so you can see the glow a bit more, add a bit more contrast. And that is looking pretty good. Should I add anything else is the real question. This is already as good as is, right? This is probably how I'm gonna leave it and how I would like consider it to be done. You know, hopefully it wasn't too long of a tutorial. This is just like a, you know, a simple tutorial. You can probably change like some things on the like the AK, like drop shadow wise, you know, just probably a bit more spread, make it a little less right here, a little less size. As for the tweet, you know, you can play around with that, you know, try you know, inspecting it, I said inspecting it, you know, just playing around with it, you know, text wise, everything. You can even add emojis if you want to. But this is mainly what I'm gonna go with. You can also look use spikes like from last I said last template. I didn't even use spikes for last template, my fault. But yeah, you can pretty much use spikes. If you do have any, I'll probably try to incorporate them right here. Do I have any spikes? I do. I have spikes right here on this thumbnail, so I'm just gonna copy these over and just call it a day. Put these right here, and then put this right here. Create clipping. Oh my god, that looked great, but at the same time, Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna do that. For color corrections, I'm gonna play around with this. I'm gonna add a bit more vibrance. I'm not gonna play around with that. I'm probably gonna add like a vibrance over everything, just so you know, you can see that more. Yeah, saturation. All right, that looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna leave it as is like that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna merge all this thumbnail together, group it up and merge it together. So I'm gonna click on my color correction layer. I'm gonna hold shift and I'm gonna click on my background layer. I'm gonna do Control G and then Control J and Control E. And what that's gonna do is gonna duplicate and then proceed to merge it. So now what I'm gonna do is gonna hit Control A. That's gonna select my canvas. Control J. What that's gonna do is gonna duplicate it, so you know you don't see this, because with this it's gonna duplicate the whole thing, right? We don't want that. So we're gonna use this one right here, and then I'm gonna do a camera raw filter again. So you go to a filter, camera raw filter right here, or Control Shift A as the shortcut for yourself. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my color raw, you know, settings. So I'm gonna pass you like a bit through it. So for exposure, and this time I'm gonna do a plus 0.15. And then contrast plus 15, highlights plus 7, shadows minus 7, whites plus 4, blacks minus 7, texture plus 10, clarity plus 11, vibrance and saturation plus 8. We go into sharpening 24 at a 0.9 radius, 17 detail, 20 noise reduction at a let's do 70 or 80 detail. And then we go down here to effects. We go to minus 4 vignette and then 13 grain. So this is probably going to be the settings I'm going to use right here. I'm going to click OK, and there you go. You have a Cold War AK fake tweet. You can do this with any weapon, of course. That is up to you. That is personal preference on what you choose. You can also use the same method for other accounts. Let's say Swag, Raven Software, you know, very big creators or like developers. So, you know, that is up to you to try, and we'll be leaving it off at that. If you do, oh god, I can't. If you did enjoy the video, I appreciate if you drop a like and a sub. Drop a comment if this did help you in any way or manner, of course. I'm probably gonna bring you an updated stat bar video, to make it something similar like this vector, right? But yeah, I hope to catch y'all in the next time. It was fun making this video nonetheless. I do apologize for the interruption, like almost towards the end. So there's gonna be that. The template is gonna be in the description, so I will leave that in the description, probably at the very top or under like you know, the whole text and stuff. But yeah, without further ado, that has been the video, guys. It's been my pleasure doing this tutorial and teaching you how to make your very own thumbnail. This is Photoshop too, by the way. But yeah, that is it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and head out. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed, and peace out.